What's happening, Bob? What's going on out there in Saline, Michigan these days?
We have rain and we're eager for Thanksgiving, T.
Eager for Thanksgiving or eager for Michigan to extend its streak against the Buckeyes when you turn into an absolute feral beast?
I do. I'm looking at the SeatGeek tickets, trying to get a single. Doesn't look good right now, Tyler. I mean, really, the cheapest counting fees is about $290, and
That's
I don't
worth
know.
it. I
But
thought
the
you were a
worst,
Michigan fan. You're not a Michigan fan? You don't like the Wolverine?
oh, a little bit. Tyler, my greatest fear is that I buy a single, walk in and plunk down, and I'm with Scarlet and Gray fans because there'll be about 20,000 there out of
That's
110.
that's the risk that you have to take. I don't know. I think you should. I think you should go all in. You know, maybe Christmas is sacrificed for a family member. You don't get somebody some gifts. Who's is there a cousin, an uncle, a child that was not good this past year? Just say, hey, and you're not getting any gifts this year. I had to see Michigan, Ohio State.
I think I might just leave well enough alone. I'm going to the Michigan High School Football State Championships on Friday at Ford Field. I'm going to
Nice.
see divisions 2, 4, 6, and 8, 4 games, 9:30 for about 12 hours of football. Pat's not making that junket, but I love it. Then you get up the next day and you got a noon game at the Big House. They've won 4 in a row without me being there. The last time I saw a game was, I think, 2019. It was like 56-32 or something, the Buckeyes. That was a bad, bad memory, Tyler.
You're not dragging Pat to the high school football championships this year.
She really puts her foot down on that one. I don't blame her.
I always you would always say that you're dragging Pat here and there. That if Bob McGinn ever had a band, it should be called Dragon Pat and the Wonderlicks. That's got a ring to it, right?
Pat's laughing, Tyler.
Oh, that's right. She can hear the whole show there in the kitchen.
She's over at the island. She can hear it, T. You know the island. You know the lay of the land here.
I do. Oh, that's where it began. Well, in your old kitchen out in Green Bay, that was
Yeah.
the home base. That's great. I mean, I know we bring it up all the time on the show, but one of the highlights of my life in Wisconsin was that Michigan Ohio State game when you didn't know what was going on, and me and Charlie did, and we were just teasing the hell out of you throughout Thanksgiving at the McGinn household. That was, oh my God, you guys have been so good to me out there. I miss our holidays in Wisconsin. It was always a good time. You and Pat treated me like a son.
Remember, Pat made the little ornament of you as a little kid?
Oh, I
Your
still
mom
got it
sent
somewhere
that
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. And the food, magnificent, of course.
Yep.
Always A plus. And we covered some good games on Thanksgiving. I know you're going to get into it at the McGinn memory at the end. You don't want to give anything away, but I'll throw in a done memory at the top. This was oh man, I hope I'm not mixing up games. I want to say Thanksgiving Day is when the Dominican Sue stomped all over Evan Dietrich Smith.
Was it?
Yeah. Ford Field. Oh yeah, that was a incredible scene in the visiting locker. Remember, Andrew Corliss was like ready to fight the Dominican Sue. He's telling us, I'm from New York. We don't do that. Like, I thought he was going to go in the Lions locker room. But yeah, we've got a Packers Lions Thanksgiving Day game. Depending on when you're listening to this, hopefully you're catching it in time to prepare yourself for the festivities. But we will, as always, get into everything NFC North here with Bob McGinn. Green Bay took it to the J.J. McCarthy quarterbacked Vikings, and I guess we'll see how long they are J.J. McCarthy quarterbacked out there in Minneapolis. He's in concussion protocol. Bigger picture, they've got some existential questions to ask there in Minnesota. Detroit survived against the Giants, and the Bears are in first place. They hang on against Pittsburgh. They find a way. So we'll get into everything. Nothing else really new here. We're pumped for Thanksgiving with all the little ones. Rocco's first Thanksgiving. He's been laughing and smiling and getting personality. It's the absolute best. Sonny, we've just been playing football in the basement. We'll have to have our own little pickup football game down there. I love blasting that NFL Films music. He's at that age, 4 years old, where I can just like throw him all over the place. He's loving it. And Ella, I mentioned it to Monis on our other podcast. We had our annual Sabres game, so that was a riot. She loves going to hockey games. Life is good, man. So blessed, so much to be thankful for. We'll have a game day chat open for everybody, but I say it every year. Please hang out with your families. Get that time in. That's what matters most in the world. Nothing beats it. Okay, let's get down and dirty to the film, to what Bob McGinn gleaned. I guess it was a win. Green Bay did what they had to do. We could nitpick and criticize Matt LaFleur for being conservative at certain spots, but I don't know, Bob. Like, you're playing an inferior quarterback. Field goals are going to win that game. Defense is going to win that game. You don't have Josh Jacobs on top of not having Tucker Kraft. Jaden Reed's still working back. I had no problem at all with how Green Bay won this game. I think that it's a good sign when your defense is able to just devour a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy and puke him out.
Yeah, now that you mention this, there's some questions about his run-pass ratio. Tyler, I don't even care about that. I mean, they just were total control. Had he wanted to throw, they could have done that too. It was just dominating. Maybe, he didn't want to rub it in so bad. I mean, the Vikings will be back at some point in the next 5 years, and maybe he wanted to do that. O'Connell is now 4-3 against LaFleur, so it was 4-2. He won the last 2 matchups at Lambeau. So this was big for Green Bay. And, for all those years, Tyler, for 25 years, I remember probably I was writing about how the Vikings, this was their number one rivalry, and how they took this thing with more ferocity than Green Bay did. Boy, but that's really flipped now. I give LaFleur a lot of credit. They just dominated physically the heck out of the Vikings, and I think it was quite a performance, really. To the intro, our friend Eric Goska, the great scribe from Green Bay, used to write that Monday column for the Green Bay Press Gazette and the Journal Sentinel. Now he writes it for Pro Football Journal, and Eric sent me along his column after this Viking game. Yards allowed in the second half. Eric's got all this stuff since 1950. So he knows the yardage totals every opponent since 1950. The Vikes had 4 yards, Tyler, in the second half. The previous low was 8 in 1960 at muddy Kezar Stadium in San Francisco. Pack won that one 13-0. So what domination? Minnesota's deepest penetration in that second half was their own 36.
Oh.
4 yards. Tyler,
that's not much penetration in the penetration department, Bob.
It's one of the worst performances ever, isn't it? Seriously. All right. You want to start with the Pack or the Vikes, Tyler? You got some general thoughts first?
I guess one could say it was the most anemic offensive performance for the Vikings at Lambeau Field since Spurgeon Wynn. I just wanted to throw a Spurgeon Wynn reference in there. I've got visions of him in the cold. Let's pull up the Spurgeon fire.
But they were fairly competitive with Spurgeon that day.
They were.
Much better than they were with JJ.
Yeah. It was one of his 3 starts for Spurge. If you can get it started, I'll look up old Spurgeon here. It was actually, there it is. All right. December 30th, 2001, Green Bay won 24-13, and Spurgeon Wynn, infamously drafted ahead of Tom Brady, of course, by Cleveland. So he's on his second team here.
Yeah.
Spurgeon went 11-30 for 114 yards with a touchdown and 3 picks. Running back Michael Bennett, actually, I've gotten to know him really well since he retired. He had 100 yards on the ground for Minnesota. Green Bay, they held on to improve to 11-4 in 2001, and the Vikings fell to 5-10. So, anyways, yeah, Spurgeon, I guess he was a little more prolific than McCarthy, threw a touchdown.
Also, by the way, the Vikings scored 6 points. That's the lowest total against Green Bay since game 10 of 2010 over at the Metrodome. Were you at that one, Tyler? 2010? No.
That was right before I joined you at the JS.
Yep. And the day after that game, Mr. Brad Childress got his pink slip. The Vikes sent him home. 31-3, Pack won that one.
Schism. There was a schism in the locker room, right? That was the word that made its way to the public forum. I think so. Schism. Also, the roof is literally collapsing on the Metrodome that year.
2010?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a crazy year for the Vikings.
All right. So shall we start with the Packers? Yeah. Let's start with them. Okay. So Christian Watson, I mean, he's become a pretty good route runner, you know? I mean, he was killing Murphy and Rodgers on outs whenever he wanted. 3rd and 3, runs an out against Murphy, gain of 12. I mean, he's got this speed, and now he's able to get on top of that stem and break these things off like he really knows what he's doing. Coming from North Dakota State, and he looks really good right now. I will say this, he's not a very powerful blocker. He played 49 snaps, Wicks 31, Dobbs 48, Keith 13, Williams 8, Melton 1, Golden was injured, inactive. Not much to say about the other receivers, although Wicks really ran hard on that 18-yarder. Let's go to the tight ends. Man, Fitzpatrick 40, and a lot of it's because they ran the ball so much, and he's their best blocking tight end. Then you got Wiley 27, and Musgrave 25. Fitzpatrick, man, at the point of attack, he pancaked Andrew Van Ginkel once on a gain of 6.
That's not easy to do. Pancake Andrew Van Ginkel.
No, but a lot of Vikings were getting pancaked in this game, Tyler. He gained 11 on that check down. He ran through Cashman on the sideline. I liked it. Wiley's a pretty good blocker, and now Musgrave. Okay. LaFleur got him on a wheel route, got him in man coverage against Metellus. I mean, Flores blitzed out of his mind in this game. And he beat Metellus and got a PI for 24 yards. That's what Musgrave can do. But then he dropped the ball on the flat. It was kind of low. He gave up half a bad run against a safety. He's just not a very tough guy, you know. And he also had another bad run against Van Ginkel. Okay, the offensive line. I guess what's notable here, I mean, Grenard didn't play for the Vikings, Tyler. And when they don't have him, they don't have a pass rush. I mean, they really don't. He's
top 5 pass rusher in the NFL. I don't think that's exaggeration at all. He's unbelievable.
Well, he's not as good as Parsons or Hutchinson. I don't know about top 5. I'll give him top 12, I think.
After that upper tier, wouldn't he be right there?
Well, Garrett and I mean, is he better than Verse of the Rams? There's just some guys.
All right.
I don't know, Ty, but I like him. So, again, Zach Tom, I got no negatives on the guy. I never have a negative on the guy. He's just good. He doesn't make any mistakes. All right, Walker over at left tackle. He gave up a sack to Dallas Turner. He had chip help from Wiley on the thing. Sack occurred in 3.7, and then he gave up another knockdown to Turner. Kennard, the big 6th lineman, he had 21 snaps in this game because they were running the ball so much. All right, Morgan. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't think he was hurt. I don't know, but he played 21 snaps, and then Belton played virtually the whole second half with 45. So Morgan's been really up and down. They must think Banks is better than Morgan. I get more negatives from Banks every time, but so Morgan in that first half, I think he had a missed assignment. He didn't block Redmond on that play. He whiffed on Cashman on a run by Wilson that didn't go anywhere. And then he gave up a knockdown to Redmond. So they went with Belton, the big guy. Let's get Belton's numbers up here. So you got Morgan, the rookie, second-year man. Morgan is, remember, he played tackle in college.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's 6'5", 311, ran 507. He's only got 11 test score. You know, I do think I've seen some hesitation in his play. His arms are great, 34 and 3/8, and he's got massive hands, 10 and 7/8. Now let's go to Belton. Belton was a second-round pick this year. He's 6'6", 336, ran 5.28. That's not bad. He did not take the Wonderlic. His arm is an inch shorter, 33 and 7/8. He's got good hand, 10 and a quarter. So they played Belton, right guard. He gave up 3 bad runs in the second half, 2 to Redmond, who beats everybody. But he also did a lot of damage straight ahead on all this straight ahead A-gap running by Wilson and Brooks. So we'll see. It'd be interesting to see what they do Thursday against Detroit. All right, let's go to Sean Ryan. You know the guy, Tyler. His second start at center. He had a bad run against Hargrave. He did a lot of good things again, straight ahead. That's what this run game was. He gave up a hurry to the linebacker Wilson. He gave up a knockdown to Rodriguez. Now, with 2 minutes left in the game, right before the 2-minute warning, he misses Rodriguez on the play before that. Levi Drake Rodriguez. But, you know, it's late in the game. They're just running it out. But this guy's so competitive. He just bounced up really, after he whiffed, he bounced up really quick. And then he just drilled Rodriguez into the ground. Very nasty, very finisher. I loved it. And now Banks, the ex-49er. He has attitude. He gets the extra shove. He goes for the throat. He's a mean mother. But I think he's top heavy, and I don't think he's a good athlete. I mean, he missed Jonathan Allen for a bad run. He pulled and missed Turner, bad run. Uncovered. He didn't block Wilson on that 3rd and 1. I'm sure it's his guy. He was uncovered on the thing. -2, and they had to punt. I think they had to punt after that one. And then he missed Ingram's Dawkins on another bad run. So there's a lot of good stuff, and there were a few bad plays. All right, let's go to the running game. So they hold out Jacobs, and they go with Wilson. Now remember, Tyler, last year I had to look it up. This guy had 502 yards rushing. He averaged 4.9 with 4 touchdowns. He's a legit guy. I mean, I've always really liked him. Man, what a show. He had 30 touches for 125, 107 on the ground. Man, every darn run, Tyler, he lowers that shoulder, bam. And you can't knock him backwards. It almost never happens. Mm-hmm. Cashman comes through. He's unblocked on the goal line, ball on the 1. And Rodriguez gets a little bit of Wilson's lower body, but it's Cashman's is unblocked. And he hits the guy at the 1. And he just gets run over, and Wilson scores. It was a hell of a play. He packs a heavy punch. He really keeps his feet moving in traffic, and that's why he carries these people around. He will not stop the feet. He runs into Tom one time, who got stalemated at the line of scrimmage, bounces wide, gain of 10. He leaped over Murphy on a quick flat, gain of 11. Reached for the goal line on his other 1-yard touchdown. Ran over Van Ginkel one time. Instead of a 1-yard gain, it was 12. Just a straight ahead banger, man. I love him. All right, Brooks played 29, Wilson 37. Brooks was fine. Now let's go to Jordan Love. Not much pressure. Relied on the running game. Did well. He had 1 ball batted. Only threw the ball 21 times, sacked once, threw a couple risky passes, a dangerous dump in the flat, near intercepted. He was hit by Wilson on that interior cross blitz. He threw that moon ball of Wicks among 5 Vikings on 3rd and 10, caught for 14. He's got a guardian angel on that one. They blitzed him heavily, and he hung in there on the thing and got the ball where it was supposed to go. One time he saw a man blitz, cool as can be, ran right up through the B gap, gain of 13. He knew nobody was watching him. Under siege one time, he flips it backwards to Brooks. I mean, talk about high risk. Yeah, Brooks caught the thing, lost 4, but at least it wasn't a bobble. Then he had a near interception into 3 guys at the end. Willis comes in, gains 4 on a quarterback sneak. They really were pounding the Vikings at that time. That's it on the Packer offense, Steve.
It probably went as well as Matt LaFleur could have scripted it, right? In terms of, all right, we're not going to rush Josh Jacobs back with his knee contusion. You would think that Josh Jacobs is trying like hell to convince everybody that he should play, like most old school running backs would in his shoes. And they're looking at the quick turnaround. They've got the Lions on Thursday. They know they've got a capable backup in Emmanuel Wilson. It makes all the sense in the world to give that knee a few more days, give Emmanuel Wilson his due, feed him the ball early and often. And he got the job done. Jacobs is going to be a hell of a lot more fresh than he would have been if he's carrying the ball that much, however you slice it, let alone the risk of another injury. And Jordan Love really wasn't put in harm's way himself after he got nicked up the previous week. So I don't know, like, get in, get out, get your win. And how does Emmanuel Wilson factor into the offense? Because that Jacobs is good with higher volume, but you got to work Wilson in, I would think.
So Thursday at Ford Field, do they have a better chance to win with Jacobs or Wilson?
I mean, I'd say Josh Jacobs still. You wouldn't?
He hasn't done much this year, Tyler. I really like this kid. All right, so Wilson's averaging
interesting
3.8, Wilson 4.0. Receiving, Jacobs a little better. Jacobs got 11 touchdowns, but Wilson could have scored all those short touchdowns. I don't know. I guess so. But Wilson definitely has to figure in there, doesn't he? More than he has earlier games.
Well, I think Bob McGinn is transforming himself into a fantasy football correspondent out there. Everybody in the stretch run of their leagues. You heard it here first from Bob. They're going to work Emmanuel Wilson in, and damn it, he might be the better running back. So you're just trusting your eyes, and you've been around the block a time or two. Back to the days of Eddie Lee Ivory.
True. Eric Torkelson.
Yeah.
Marty Smith.
The Eric Torkelson fantasy football days.
All right, let's go to the D. One thing I'll just say as an aside, that crowd at Lambeau could really smell blood, Tyler. It was loud and nasty. They love seeing that second-year QB get his butt handed to him, and the Minnesota turned into like an 0-17 team. I mean, they look like red clots in the Washington Generals in that second half. They were horrid.
I got to give it up to the home crowd too. I mean, there are times out there in Green Bay, I think like around the country, like, Packer fans are a different breed. It's a religion. It's next level, right? Whatever mathematical equation you use to figure out the best fan bases in football, Green Bay Packer fans are near the top of that list. But the nickname that some locals will give their own fans is Entitled Town. And there will be stretches with really good teams where it's not necessarily that loud. I can remember McCarthy, and I probably LaFleur too. They sometimes they'll say things in the mic like, "We really need you," like this Sunday. And it's not, domed. It's not compact like some of those loud dome atmospheres. Then maybe not as rabid as those Seattle 12th Men fans are out there at times. But when they're revved up, like they were Sunday, and they can smell blood in the water, and they can sense, like, the Vikings for this generation, that's the rivalry, not the Bears of yesteryear. It's it's the Vikings. It's Favre wearing the purple. It's that kind of stuff. I think a generation, that's what they relate to. Yeah, they came alive. So home field advantage could be on the line down the stretch here for Green Bay. Each game is crucial for a million reasons.
Yep. All right, let's go to the D. So let's start with Parsons. He played 91% of the snaps. The Lions, I think their defense, we'll get to that later, but they played in overtime. The Green Bay defense was on the field 44 snaps. Detroit was like 89. Is that right, Tyler?
Wow.
82 for Detroit's defense. That's a real factor. I mean, I don't think of those kind of things generally, but that's a huge advantage for Green Bay. Okay, so Parsons. Minnesota's got their starting offensive line, and I think it's a good one from left to right. Darrisaw, Jackson, Kelly's back from the concussions, Fries, and O'Neal. I think it's really a good line. Well, at the end of the game, Darrisaw was out with a foot or ankle. Jackson was out foot or ankle. But for the first 3 quarters of that game, it was good on good, and they got hammered. All right, let's go to Parsons. Minnesota, Tyler, right away, first 3 plays, they gained 31 yards. They get the opening kickoff, 3 plays, 31, man. JJ looks great. Aaron Jones is running, got his first down signal going. Then Parsons, and in against Darrisaw, knocks McCarthy down, incomplete. That screwed up the whole drive, forced an incompletion, and then they kicked the field goal. This is what this guy can do. Then he beat Darrisaw inside in 2.5 seconds, sack. He beat Darrisaw around the horn, 2.8 seconds, sack. He set up Wyatt's sack, I think, on the next play by knocking Kelly right on his ass. He was at middle linebacker on that one with 3 defensive linemen. He was hiding behind the nose guy, Wyatt, and he just collapsed the whole thing. And then he killed O'Neal when they tried to run Wyatt at him, and he set up Wooden for a tackle for loss. Wow. All right. Gary played 32 snaps. Angabari 15. Van Ness is back. He played 6. Let's go to Gary. He flattened down inside against the run one time, gain of 1. He had a knockdown against a tight end, and O'Neal. He had a knockdown on a stunt late against Brandel. He had a flush on an in against Darrisaw, and that set up the sack by Wyatt. And on the late interception, he hit McCarthy's arm against Justin School, who replaced Darrisaw. He had a big game. Enigbari on 4th and 1 at the 17. He beat O'Neal off the edge, -1. Huge play in the game. That's 2 weeks in a row now. He's made a violent big play. And he had a knockdown against School later on. Van Ness didn't do much. All right, let's go inside. Wyatt. Apart from the sacks, I mean, one was in 3.5, one was in 6.5 on a late chase caused by Parsons. I really liked his hustle on this thing. Came out of the stack one time and caught Jefferson on a bubble, gain of 7, right when that play was about ready to rupture. Hustled to the other side of the line. He played a good football game. All right. Wooden 23, he was okay. Brooks got hurt, I guess. He played 4. I don't know. Stackhouse played 3. On that 3rd and 1 sneak of J.J. McCarthy that they stopped, I credit Stackhouse. He made a hell of a play on the thing. And then Brinson, the other Georgia guy, with 21 snaps. He got a bull rush against Kelly, and he got half a sack and 3.4. All right, let's go to the backers. Okay, so Quay Walker sits, and they play McDuffie. Plays all 44 snaps, as does Cooper. McDuffie, he's a tough kid, Tyler. He missed a tackle early. He made a really decisive hit in the flat on Hawkinson on 3rd and 9. It was a gain of 5. They punt. He got half a sack against Aaron Jones. 3.4 was the sack. He got a sure tackle on Aaron Jones in the flat, gain of 6. And he showed good hands on that deflected ball that he picked. Hopper, we see him for the second game now because Walker's out. And he played 18 snaps, the second-year guy from Missouri, yeah. All right, one time on Mason's 22-yard run, that was the longest play the Vikings had all day. Their long completion, by the way, was 19 yards. All right, so
I mean,
Mason's breaking.
all of that's hard to do in 2025. I mean, let's just say it, Bob.
Very hard.
For the Vikings to be this pathetic putting the ball in the air, I don't care who's playing quarterback, let alone a first-round pick, let alone somebody you anointed, your franchise guy, letting Sam Darnold out the building. It's just, I know we belabor the point, but it's horrible. It's a horrible look for the Vikings.
Did they try to sign Daniel Jones? I know nothing about that.
If they did, it was very tepid, probably. It just doesn't seem like it was considered. I mean, Daniel Jones wanted a starting opportunity, and he's going to get that in Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson. I mean, the very different situations, right? Like he probably gauged the temperature of the room, even if the Vikings were showing interest in him as a veteran backup.
All right, on Mason's 22-yard run, I mean, Hopper, something happened at the line of scrimmage where he didn't make the play, and he just showed this great burst he guy has. Let's get his 40 time. And he got Mason from behind. I mean, it could have been a really long run. What did Hopper run? 4.71? Boy, I thought it was faster than that. Okay, I stand corrected. But anyway, it was a hell of a play. All right, let's go to the secondary. Okay, Evan Williams. He fills those holes fast and hard, man. They knew they were going to run with McCarthy. You know, generally they stay back in the two shell. And Hafley was just so emboldened by what he saw, this futility. He just said, Evan, you feel it. We'll cover for you. Just take a run in there, man. And he was coming on the snap. He ran in late and he just was walloping people. Run in, hits Aaron Jones -1. He got blocked by Addison on that 22-yard run. Not a good play there. And then the interception that was sailed overhead by JJ Pick, good hands, picked it. McKinney was a non-factor. They never got to him. Bullard, I liked him. Ruined a bubble. He missed one tackle. Let's go to corner. All right, Nixon goes out with a stinger after 13 snaps. So they play Kamal Haddon. Let's check his numbers. First time I've ever seen the guy in a regular season game from scrimmage. All right, he was a 6th-round pick in 24. Did Green Bay draft the guy? God, I can't even remember this. No, he was drafted by somebody else. Anyway, they got him. He's 6'1", nice, 194. He ran 4.58. Arm length is good, 30 7/8. Really tiny hands, 8.5. His vert was 34.5. First play, Tyler. Mason's coming over by him. His first play that he's in for Nixon, he gets a huge knockback hit, knocked like that 230-pound Nason right over backwards. It was a hell of a hit. I thought, whoa, this guy means business. And he showed tight cover. He played physical the whole day. Not that there was any challenge by McCarthy and O'Connell in that bunch, but I mean, he was impressive. Valentine played every snap. He missed a couple tackles. He was never challenged. Nobody was challenged downfield. It was just easy. All right, special teams.
Real quick, 6th-round pick, Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
He was waived on final cuts his first summer.
So when did he come? Did he come to Green Bay's practice squad last year?
Yeah, he was signed to the practice squad 3 days later and elevated to the active roster week 4 and week 9 of last year. Then he kicked around on that reserve future contract, and now it's
okay.
I mean, he's going to play he's next in line, I would assume, after that game.
I mean, Hobbs has been injured. Hobbs has not been that impressive either, so it could be Haddon starting, yeah. Nixon was injured when he ran into Wyatt on the sideline. I mean, I thought Wyatt could have cushioned the blow somewhat instead of just standing there with a 305-pound hard shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't you kind of cushion it, absorb your teammate better than that? I don't know. I mean, I didn't get a great look at it, but
You know what's crazy, Bob, is like I used to think it's impossible to ask these very large, very fast, very athletic individuals to do things on the fly, split second decisions. And then I saw Danielle Hunter as he's sacking Josh Allen. There's a clip out there, and he's like low, he's like at his ankles, and he like moves his arms up his body so he doesn't injure his like knees. I mean, it's like the ultimate professional move by a pro,
yeah.
to ensure a guy doesn't like tear his knee up. Yeah, not easy to do, but I guess the play you're talking about doesn't really compare, I suppose.
But these like you said, they're unbelievable professional athletes, and they can do things, and Wyatt can absorb that darn thing. I think it's right in front of him. I mean, okay, McManus, he's back. He hits from 32, 59 at Lambeau on a 42-degree day. 59, 30, and 40. These balls this year, I guess, I don't know. I can't say I like this emphasis on kicking, and I'm evaluating all kickoffs now, Tyler, whether the ball is on the same line as the numbers on the field or outside. So if it's even with the numbers or outside, I'll give him a plus. If it's in the middle of the field between the numbers, I'll give him a minus. So McManus was 4 for 6 on kickoff. All right, Whalen. What a punter. 4 punts. I've said this all 2 years now. 47.5 gross, 44.8 net, 4.49 average hang, 3 inside the 20. He's a massive weapon for this defense and this team. Massive. All right, that's it for the Packers, Tyler.
What's your takeaway?
I mean, God, they lost to the Vikings twice last year. Is that right? Yeah. And LaFleur had been 2-4 against O'Connell. And now you just see the Vikings are so far behind. I read O'Connell's transcripts on Sunday and Monday. Just talking in circles. I mean, it's hard to read his thoughts. I don't really know where he's coming from. I have no idea, but he's got to be really worried.
You're going to get to the Vikes. I would assume if you're using the word fundamentals with your quarterback in late November, probably not good, right? If you're worrying about footwork and syncing up your drop with the receiver's routes and just this is the kind of stuff you talk about in May, not even August. I don't know. There's just no substitute for practicing and playing in games. And last year, JJ McCarthy was out for a year, and he could have been preparing in a million ways behind the scenes, but there's no way to simulate what you're going to see out there on Sunday. We probably should all hesitate to completely write the guy off, but it does not look good right now.
I mean, like I said last week, he didn't show much as a freshman when he was off the bench behind McNamara.
That's true.
And he never threw the ball at Michigan, 12, 15 times a game. Started 2 years, won a ton, had a great team with him, won a national title. It was easy street, man, gravy train. Harbaugh, did a good job with him, protected the guy, had running backs, Blake Corum, Hassan Haskins. I mean, hell of an offensive line, won that award 2 years in a row. And now this. So I don't know. Let's get into JJ and what we see, Tyler. This is his number 6 start. First pass, man. He threw Jefferson on a dig, 15 against Nixon, right on the money. I mean, the guy's got a good gun. We know he can throw it hard. Terrible decision a few plays later to throw a bubble off to the left. Thing was played well by, I think it was Valentine, nearly intercepted. Fumbled the snap. Somebody stepped on him or whatever. He was under center, recovered. Threw a terrific deep out in traffic to Jefferson for 19. It was a hell of a throw. Second half, took a sack, tried to pump fake. Two guys were in the flat, just throw the ball out to him. Don't pump it. You know, one thing was interesting after that sack, no one helped him up. None of his teammates. Camera was on that for about 3 seconds. Generally, you help a guy up, you know.
Is that pretty telling to you? You've covered the NFL since 1979.
Favre sure in the heck got helped up every time. Rodgers, I can't say that, but yeah, and there were other times later on in this game when they did help McCarthy up, but in that one case right there, I saw the camera a long time and there was no help. The interception, Gary hit his arm. It was intended to check down. It's not his fault. Then he scrambles for 10. Okay, he wants to be a tough guy, wants to finally make a play, doesn't slide, takes a big hit from McDuffie, all legal, all good. You know, we know he's in concussion protocol. O'Connell said he's not sure what play it was. One of these, how many sacks, 5 or that thing, who knows. And then he airmailed the interception over Naylor. I mean, look at this. Addison is targeted once, gets shut out. Naylor targeted once, shut out. These are really good receivers, 2 and 3. Jefferson targeted 6, catches 4 for 48. Long completion, 19 yards. The one drop was by Thielen. He played 3 snaps. Hawkinson targeted 4, catches 4 for 19. It was a real farce. The running game, null and void. Green Bay took that away. I mean, they're all over the run game. Evan Williams charging up. They don't have to respect McCarthy. Now, Tyler, I did not see him beat Detroit at Ford Field. So I've never seen that tape. You saw that, right?
Yeah,
and he must have looked great.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's collecting cobwebs at this point. We've seen so much bad. It's suffocating the flickers of good. Yeah. I was all about it in the spring. But they've got to make this quarterback decision. I get the logic from Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, Kevin O'Connell. You just went through the Kirk Cousins experience. Sam Darnold wins you 14 games, but it's ugly as hell. Second half against Detroit, and then that Rams game. You've got the opportunity. Rookie quarterback contract. Use that money to beef up the lines. It was your lines that caved in that Rams game too. So if you believe in J.J. McCarthy, and why wouldn't we? Kevin O'Connell's eye for the position has been superb. His pedigree. You know, he was out there winning the Super Bowl with the Rams. Even in Minnesota, the magic he was working with Kirk Cousins was really impressive. And Darnold. If this is who he wants, this is who he wants, why not?
And don't forget, he won a couple games with Dobbs, that Dobbs guy.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And the old 49er backup, who was that guy who looked halfway decent?
Nick Mullins?
Yeah, they all look better than McCarthy.
There's enough there to suggest, I try to assume, I don't know what in the hell I'm looking at. And he does. He knows a lot more about quarterback play than me. But I definitely had that voice in the back of my head, just like you, Bob. I mean, you're watching every snap of Michigan football. And when you turn on that film, there's still part of me that wants to say, Chris Winkie, Ken Dorsey, Josh Heupel. There's a lot of quarterbacks who win a lot of games, even win Heismans, even win championships. It doesn't mean they're going to be successful in the NFL. It's a different game. When it's all on you, it's all on your shoulders, and you've got to make a play. He hasn't done it. So I don't know. I think on paper, it looked great philosophically to have this 14-win team. Go get yourself some offensive linemen. Go get some defensive linemen. You've got maybe the best wide receiver in football in Justin Jefferson, one of the best tight ends in TJ Hawkinson, maybe the best number 2 in Jordan Addison at receiver. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason as a 1-2 punch. It made so much sense. And J.J. McCarthy has just been terrible and injured. I mean, really, that's a big part of the conversation, too, that we can't overlook. And now he's injured again. It's blowing up in their face.
They're 4-7, right? Yeah.
They've got to start over at this rate.
It could
What
be
does
4
JJ McCarthy have to do to warrant being the day one starter in 2026?
That's what this last 6 games is all about, isn't it? Yep. But they're okay. Well, we got weeks to talk about the Vikes. Let's go to their defense. There's nothing to say. Grenard didn't play. You know, they ranked 31 in turnover differential, -10. Turner's playing a little better. The front, there's nothing to talk about. The linebackers, nothing to talk about. I mean, Pace has fallen. He played 3 snaps in garbage time at the end. Secondary, there's nothing to talk about. Reichard hits a 59-yard field goal. Wow, same as McManus. No, I screwed up on McManus, Tyler. He made him 32, 30, and 40. Reichard hit the 59-yard. I put that under the wrong guy. Sorry, everybody.
Hey,
sorry.
You corrected yourself mid-pod. That's impressive.
Sorry.
I didn't stop you. You could have said anything, and I would have just nodded along.
Ryan Wright, who's, I think, the 3rd best punter in the division. He really had a hell of a game. 4 punts, 55.5, 50.3, 2 inside the 20. Price, I mean, I love this rookie free agent. His return stuff's been good all year, but he had another screw up. He didn't handle the ball over his head, and it came back and hit him and led to an easy touchdown. Then another kickoff return, he runs 5 yards backwards. I mean, they got to stay with him. The kid's got a lot of promise, but all right. So Green Bay just dominates the rivalry, and that's it, 23-6.
Well said. I guess we'll track the Minnesota Vikings through the finish line because they are part of this NFC North, but they're not in the hunt graphic at the Thanksgiving Day table. Pretty easy to make that graphic, and they didn't make the cut. Or at least they shouldn't. They'll probably CBS will find a way to jam them in there, I guess.
All right, so the Bears, right, Tyler?
The Chicago Bears, the first place Chicago Bears. Do it again.
So Aaron Rodgers doesn't play. They get the break there. They win at 31-28 at home. I mean, they haven't exactly played a murderer's role of QBs of late all season. But they win, and they maintain a half-game lead on the Green Bay Packers.
Dan Graziano for ESPN. He's covered the NFL for a long time, does a hell of a job. Really nice guy, too. He had this tweet from pregame. This is at 9:55 at Soldier Field. Aaron Rodgers arrived at Soldier Field about 20 minutes ago, walked 1 lap around the field, flipped off a couple of the cameras that were filming, and went back inside. He used his right hand to flip the bird, so it's unclear if he could do it with his left. Status for today's game still up in the air. What a tweet. That's incredible, Dan.
He's a sweetheart, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Aaron.
Flipped him off, huh?
Flipped him off. And then it was probably an hour later, maybe not even, that the reports came out he wasn't playing. So maybe he was upset about that. I'm surprised. Right. I'm surprised he didn't, do everything in his power to play in this one. He owns the Bears. He loves to let the Bears know he owns the Bears. And he couldn't get this one out. I would think Aaron calls the shots. I'm just assuming that maybe we shouldn't. Maybe the Steelers stepped in and said, well, we want you healthier for Buffalo, an AFC game the following week. But I don't know. At this point, Aaron Rodgers is calling the shots, right? If he wants to play, is Tomlin really going to say no?
No. Right. All right, the Bears. I'm going to say one general thing here. That offensive line right now, I mean, it's transformed this offense. They are hustling downfield, pushing running backs on play after play after play. I mean, it's really impressive. Now, Monangai only had 48 yards and Swift had 15, so it wasn't a big day for that. but I think all season I've seen this. They are playing well up front. All right, what are some impressive things? The development of Odunze, Burden, and Loveland has really been impressive. All right, Odunze, he's got this big body, right, Tyler? Now he's just so after the catch. But he is very quick into and out of his breaks. He's not a big runner after the catch, but he's a big body and he runs those posts, he runs seams, digs, and he's impressive. I don't think he's a good blocker. Like he missed Herbig one time, running play -5. He made a ball thrown behind him in the middle against zone coverage, caught it for 23. He dropped a 15-yard out, and there was another low ball catchable, but he's had a really good year, and he's their #1 receiver. All right, Burden, the rookie from Missouri, I believe it is. Yeah. He is a very natural guy after the catch. Now, we knew we had run after the catch, no question, and his route running has improved noticeably since September. He went 15 on a double reverse. He's very dangerous on gadget stuff. On a screen, he showed some electric ability, gained 19 on the thing. Pretty good player. Now let's go to Loveland, the tight end, first-round pick. You know, he's put on weight and strength. There's no question he looks better than he did at Michigan in a uniform. He's smart. I mean, he comes on one of those pulls across the formation. The defensive end, his guy was so far upfield that he looked and cut it in, went to block a safety. He blocked the most dangerous man. I liked it. 2nd and 10, he ran it out against the linebacker Malik Harrison for 17. And then they put him out in the right slot, ball on the 12-yard line, and runs a post against the safety, Kyle Duggar. Very crafty route, man coverage, beat the guy inside. Great throw from Caleb. Loveland's a threat. He played 42 and Komet played 41. Komet's a red zone target and a better blocker. But Loveland's is an improved blocker. Now there was a DJ Moore sighting, which makes this offense even more dangerous. All right, there was a low dig, catchable. He didn't make it. The pivot route beat Jalen Ramsey, touchdown, 5 yards. He got a taunting penalty, threw a ball at a DB on the sideline. And then a seam route against zone coverage, 24-yard score. Now, he's doing some body catching. He's had some drops this year. But if they can get him going as part of their offense, boy, that gives them 4 threats. Offensive line. Dahlman and Thuney have been worth their weight in gold. They've been better than the Minnesota signings, certainly, in the interior of that line. Jonah Jackson got hurt in the second quarter, came back for the second half. He and Wright, man, that Keanu Benton, the nose tackle for Pittsburgh, who I really like. Man, he's athletic and big and strong. Wright and Jackson got after him a few times in this run game. Impressive. They've been a really strong right side. Wright gave up a strip sack to J.J. Watt, but otherwise he held Watt at bay, played pretty well. He just moves people all the time. Left tackle, Benedict couldn't play with, what did he have? Quad, I believe. I don't know. So they have to start the rookie, Ozzie Trapilo, the 2nd-round pick. Trapilo played good, man. I mean, Herbig is a dangerous pass rusher. Now, Alex Highsmith didn't play, but Herbig is just as good, I think. And Trapilo, I got him for 1 hurry against Herbig. Played great. Newman, the kid from Michigan State, one of the few products they've had in the last couple of years, he played 22 snaps at guard when Jackson was injured. First time I've seen him since college. Played pretty well, no problems. He was blocking downfield at one time, and he hung in there really good. All right, let's go to the running backs. Monangai, 35 this time. Swift, 29. That might be a first time he played more. We know Monangai now, you know. I mean, he gets to top speed, which isn't very fast, but he gets it real quick, and he hits up in there hard. Is he as strong as Emmanuel Wilson? No. Is he a better back than Emmanuel Wilson? Right now, I'd say no, but it's pretty close. Good player. He got a 2-yard touchdown, 3rd and 2. He got the first down. Swift, he lost a fumble in the middle of the pile. I have no idea what happened, but it was a lost fumble. He had kind of a slow day. All right, now Caleb Williams. So he completes 19 of 35, passer rating 104.3, no picks. Okay. But again, really, I think his game was just kind of the way where it is right now. I think he's 17th in passer rating now in the league. Let's check that. Yeah, 17 at 91.3. Goff is 3. Love is 7, and JJ McCarthy is off the page.
Off the page, not where you want to be.
Nope. His passer rating is 57.9. Wentz was 85.8, almost in the exact same number of attempts.
Wolf.
Wolf-a-lot.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go to Caleb. All of my stuff is in chronological order. All right, 3rd and 6. He throws a hook, terrible throw, almost intercepted, punt. 2nd and 10. He scrambles. He gets 9. Now, on this play, the orange strip is right in front of him. He sees it coming. He's heading out of bounds. He easily can get to the orange strip, but he decides not to. He tiptoes out of bounds, doesn't get the first down, gain of 9, and then they got it on the next play, I believe. All right, he threw that 5-yard touchdown pass to Moore against Ramsey. Very precise, thrown like a bullet. Great throw. Now, he's coming out of his own end. He takes the sack. He panics. Watt gets him. He's holding the ball, flagging the ball out there. 5.2 seconds. Get rid of the stupid thing. Fumble, touchdown, Pittsburgh. I mean, it was just horrid, you know. All right. He overthrows Burden on a 20-yard dig near interception. 4th and 1, he keeps it for 7. Now, again, if he would have got his butt out of bounds or slid, it wouldn't have been a problem. Instead, he gets drilled by Ramsey, and I don't know what he's doing on sideline awareness. Does he have none, or I don't know. Wild check down to Burden. It was terrible behind him. He overthrew a Dunze. Interception was dropped by Duger. Now, second half, he got that free play touchdown to Moore. He looked him off, single safety, and then he looked to a Dunze. He came back and hit Moore down the seam. Great play. He threw wild to a Dunze. He didn't have much run game. Oldest was on him, and he got 3 touchdowns. He threw a bad ball inside, a low ball. He took a delay penalty, his fault in the 4th quarter on 3rd and 8. So there's a lot of good and there's still a lot of bad. And this is what Ben Johnson, you read his transcripts, and he's not giving it up for the guy. He's a realist, and he deals in real life. And so far, they're 8-3. That's it on the O, Tyler.
I think he's been sacked 11 times in 11 games.
That's it? Yeah, 17, Tyler.
Oh.
17 sacks.
Oh, wow. I'm way off.
But that's still, how many last year?
You're right, 17. 17 and 11.
How many last year, T?
The 3rd most all time, right?
68. 6-8.
And sacks can be like turnovers. They can just completely nuke a drive. So that's impressive. He's not throwing interceptions. The other team keeps screwing up. And it's enough to win games for the Chicago Bears. You're right. All of the red flags are still there. And he had a big one with that turnover in his own end zone this game. But he's been keeping mistakes and turnovers and sacks to a minimum, hitting a big play here and there, running out of a jam, unlike anybody in the business right now. And that is a formula for the Bears, right? Like, They've got a sound structure. They've got a sound running game. They're creating turnovers, and you're going to get into that. Caleb Williams is doing enough for them to be in first place right now.
Let's look for the rushing yards. All right, Caleb's got 293, Goff 22, Love 160, McCarthy 120, Wentz 57. So that's a nice bonus. And the Bears turnovers plus 16, second place Rams plus 12. Yeah, they're incredible. They're taking it away, man.
Philadelphia on Black Friday, and then at Green Bay. Right,
Well,
at Philly, at Green Bay. These are two big
Philly
tests coming up.
Friday, huh?
Right.
Okay. All right, let's go to the D. So, Tyler, they don't have Edwards, Edmonds, or Sewell at inside backer. And then they lose Hippolyte, their rookie, after 13 snaps. Are you kidding me? So here's who they're playing with. Against a good ground game, they're playing with DeMarco Jackson. He was drafted in the 5th round in 22. He's got the green dot. He's 6'04", 6 foot 1/2 inch, 234. He's got really good speed. He ran 4.54, only 14 on the test. And then Hippolyte, he gets injured, and they come with Agbombemaga. Entered the league as a free agent 4 years ago. He's 6'1", 231, 4.66, 21 on the test. That's who they're playing with. No Edmonds, no Edwards, no Sewell, and no Hippolyte. Okay, and then the Carl Jones played a few snaps too. All right. Hippolyte's flying around, I mean, reckless. And then he got crushed by that massive tight end, Darnell Washington. Suffered a shoulder injury on a wham block. Man, it was sickening to watch. The big man just was in motion and just drilled a small backer. He's got, he's outweighing him by 80 pounds. Wow. Okay, Jackson. Yeah, he was late to the flat on a pass for 13, but he really showed hustle and chase. Good react on 3rd and 2 on a swing pass, -1, good play. He played at New Orleans for Dennis Allen, so he kind of knows the system. All right, let's go to the up front. The Steelers had 186 rushing, Tyler, average 5.2. I mean, they kind of did whatever they wanted. They just didn't have a good quarterback. Rudolph, his longest completion was 21. They just, Arthur Smith took the ball out of his hands and all short stuff. So I wasn't impressed with the Bear front seven. They're down guys. Grady Jarrett, played 52 snaps. He's consistently getting knocked off the ball. He's just a little guy, and his extreme quickness now has been lost to age. He had a batted ball, but you can pound at him. Billings, I didn't think he did much in this game. He must be 350. And then Dexter had a really off game too. He got pancaked by that good young center, Zach Frazier, on a play. He gets high sometimes. When he tires, he gets high. Tryon, the old Buccaneer, 22 snaps. He did okay against the run. Booker played 56 snaps outside where Odin Bayu used to play before he went on IR. I didn't think he did anything. Sweat beat Washington. They were blocking him with the tight end. He beat him for a sack in 4.7. That's when Rudolph ran to him. And then he had another sack against Washington at 4.5. That was a strip sack, set up a touchdown, forced fumble. And then he whiffed on a sack later against the running back Gainwell. The edges, okay, we covered that. Now let's go to the defensive backs. All right, again, let's go to Nashawn Wright. He's playing for Jalen Johnson, who's about ready to come back. I don't know what, Kyler Gordon's about ready to come back. Wright has been tremendous. He was on Minnesota's practice squad all last year. How could they not have seen this potential? He was there almost all year. I think he was active for one game. This guy was drafted somebody. He's 6'4". Did the Cowboys draft him, Tyler?
I don't know, Bob.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Seems
Yes,
like,
it would have been yeah, the Dallas Cowboys 2021. Yeah, it was a third round pick.
yeah. I remember talking to one of their people about this guy, and they knew it was a flyer, but they loved the height. 6'4 1/4. He was 183 coming out, ran 4.48, 32 and 7/8 arm. The guy's been incredible. He made an interception in this game on the sidelines on a fade to Metcalf, set up a touchdown. It was one of the best I've seen in a couple of years. And he's physical for this thin guy, gangly. He attacked a bubble, made the tackle, gain of 2. He breaks up a bomb to Roman Wilson, near interception, well covered. He's a good tackler. He got a pass interference call against Metcalf on 3rd and 7. He did. And at the end, slant to Metcalf, he tackled him immediately. He's either going to get huge money somewhere or in Chicago, but I don't know how they can afford him. But he's better than Stevenson, obviously, and he's, him and Jalen Johnson next year be quite a pair with Gordon in the slot. The safeties, they were all fine. Stevenson hurt his hip early, 12 snaps left. McLeod, he's a physical little guy. Played 57. Special teams, Santos, he's kicking some of these low balls that he can get over the 20-yard line and that are hard to handle, knuckleballs. Most kickers you don't see doing that, but he's trying it and he's been kind of effective. And Taylor, their punter from Iowa, 4 punts, 50.5 gross, 39.5 net, 3.99. I think he's the 4th punter in the division. We'll see at the end of the year when the scouts do that team. That's it for the Bears, Tyler.
Well done, right? Same story, different game. It's working, and we've kind of been waiting for this stretch in the schedule. But this was a team with a winning record that they beat, albeit with a backup quarterback. At Philadelphia will be quite a test. All right, Detroit Giants. Okay. Yep. Yikes! Near disaster.
Now, I said last week that the Giants would be really tough.
You did. You called it.
Both lines, Tyler, offense and defense, and they were playing hard and they were playing good. They ain't no 2-10 team. And I hate saying this is a good win because it wasn't at home. At least the Packers were on the road and they struggled till the bitter end. All right, Detroit. They got bombed by Green Bay on the first game of the year. And we talked about crowd noise and we talked about young offensive guards and all this stuff. They're favored by what, 2.5, I think the Lions, I saw today. Can Green Bay go in there and mop up on the Lions? The Lions are not very good right now, Tyler.
They've got some issues, and this was Jahmyr Gibbs just saving the day. He was Herculean. He could do it again against anybody.
He could.
But right now, Green Bay is the better team. Right now, it's not too dissimilar to 2023 when Green Bay won at Ford Field. So they've done it. They're not going to be afraid of Thanksgiving Day at Detroit, Dan Campbell going for it 4th down. Like, flip side, I mean, the Lions beat Green Bay when they were down to their 7th grade squad on defense, basically holding open tryouts and going for it on 4th down every single time because of it. So I don't know. To me, it's a toss-up game. It's a complete toss-up.
The Lions played all those snaps. I think that negates that Green Bay has to travel over here. There will be some Green Bay fans there. There used to be 20,000 when the Lions were bad. There won't be that many tickets available now, but there's probably going to be 5,000 over here. Green Bay, Detroit's won 6 of the last 8. LaFleur is 3-6 against Campbell. Green Bay hasn't swept Detroit in 5 years. Boy, it could happen. But we've been wrong before on Green Bay, haven't we? Yours truly picking them to win the Super Bowl last year. I was way off on that one. And just I just don't get a handle on them. But then they're coming off a great game against kind of a maimed opponent. So they got Detroit's attention. Can LaFleur do it against Dan Campbell? It's going to be loud. It's going to be nasty. All right, let's look at what the Lions got.
Psychologically, a huge game for Matt LaFleur and the Packers.
Very.
And the quote-unquote big game that has been so elusive for this coach.
So they don't have Laporta, and they've downsized David Montgomery. He's doing two things with the ball, Gibbs and St. Brown. When Campbell called plays the first week, he gave it to Jamo a lot. In this game, 3 targets, no catches. All right, St. Brown plays all but 66 of 68 snaps on offense. You think he's not going to be tired Thursday? He dropped a dig, well covered, but he dropped it. He dropped the ball at the 15-yard line on 3rd and 11. It was tipped for an interception. I mean, he's had drops in the last month. Now, he caught 9 for 149. So he should have caught 11 for like 180. He got a 14-yard PI on Belton with a nifty post route. He got 11 on a bubble. He would not be denied. Touchdown. He broke a tackle by Drew Phillips, gain of 20. He's crafty in that cover 2 hole on the sideline, gain of 30. I mean, he's really good, but I don't think he's having quite the year he's had normally. He's had more drops. Williams, he dropped a short hook. He dropped an out on 3rd and 9. They paid him big money. You know, in reverses this year, Tyler, I mean, that's a big part. You spend a lot of money on this guy. On rushes, 4 for 10, a long of 9. He's got 31 balls in 11 games, 18.15 touches. Okay, they don't have Laporta, so their number 2 option's Williams. Tesla, they never throw to him, 28 snaps. Raymond, 27. He's a little guy. He made a great catch on a seam for 29. Vertical route. He got hurt in the 3rd quarter. I think he missed practice yesterday. Boy, that's a problem because their next guy is a rookie, Dominic Lovett, who hasn't played all year. A couple snaps here and there. All right, let's go to the offensive line. The Giants have a hell of a front, Tyler. I mean, Thibodeau didn't play. He didn't play against Green Bay either. But you got Burns and Carter flying off that edge, and you got Dexter Lawrence inside. And, you know, Roy Robertson Harris is not that bad a player either. And Darius Alexander, the rookie from Toledo, he's not bad either. I mean, I've seen his team now 3 times in the last month. Who looked good? Sewell. I got 1 hurry for him. Played really well. Ratledge played good. I got 1 half flush. So he played good. Awosika, who's starting in place of the injured Mahogany, he'll be there Thursday. He had a rough game. He gave a flush to Alexander. Next play, a sack to Alexander up the field, 3.0. A flush to Nunez Roaches. And a sack, an in by Nunez Roaches in 2.3. He had a rough game. I mean, he's going to be against Wyatt, and he's going to have to worry about Parsons on third and long. That's a real problem for Goff, man. Glasgow, the veteran center, is he starting to wear out? He gave up a flush to Dexter Lawrence, set up a sack. That thing the sack was got by Alexander. He was ineligible downfield, wiped out a 38-yard screen to Williams. He was laid out there to Okereke on a running play that gained 1, and he gave up half a flush to Lawrence. They can't afford for him to run out of gas, and he's got to play Thursday, and he's like 32. Decker, who's been able to hold up with a battered body, he gave up 1 knockdown to Carter. He had a hold against Burns, and he gave up another knockdown to Carter, but he escaped with no sacks. So, I mean, Goff was only sacked 3 times. The line was, I mean, pretty good. We're going to get to the running game in a second. The line was pretty good, but now 3 days later against a front that had their lunch 3 months ago, Tough assignment. All right, let's go to the running back. So Gibbs, I did the story on Jonathan Taylor, right, Tyler? And so I think I know Taylor now, and I didn't know much about him beforehand. Who would I take? Somebody asked me. Our old friend Rob Reichel asked me that. Who would I take, Gibbs or Taylor? Gibbs, but not by much. I think Taylor's really good too, man. He can fly, just like Gibbs can fly.
It's funny you say that because after rewatching this Lions game, I'm staring at the headline that I gave your story. Everybody, make sure you read it. GoLongT.com. Bob McGinn Files, taking you to the roots of all things Jonathan Taylor. I think the headline I wrote was down the lines of like why Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in football. I'm thinking, maybe I shouldn't have gone that hard in the paint. Gibbs is incredible.
You wrote that on Saturday, 24
I did,
hours
yeah.
before.
I did, yeah.
So let's go to Gibbs, eh?
Totally different speed than everybody else on the field.
Chronological order. He gives up a flush and blitz pickup to a linebacker. He outflanks the safety, Javon Holland, gain of 48. Play action fake. Catches a 3-yard touchdown over on the right side. Fingertip catch. Beautiful play. He bobbled a ball out in the flat, which led to a -3. At this point, I wrote down the Giants were tackling him very well. That was in the middle of the game. I wrote that. Now, they're down 27-17, 49-yard touchdown. He made Belton, Flott, and Holland all miss. I take it all back. 69-yard touchdown, first play in OT, right? Lawrence is off the field for some kind of injury, runs the A-gap. Belton, the safety, is just flat-footed. He's untouched to the end zone to win the game. Well, after the defense held. His career high for yards from scrimmage was 219. In this one, he got 264. Montgomery's an afterthought. He gets 8 touches, 23. I'll finish with Goff, Tyler, and then you can comment on the offense. So Goff had 5 drops, 91.3 rating. On that bubble for that 11-yard touchdown to St. Brown, he got the ball out fast, and it was around Burns, different platform. He had a great seam throw to Raymond for 29. He drilled that cover 2 hole shot to St. Brown for 30. He missed St. Brown at the 16. He was wide open. The ball went high. His interception was tipped, not his fault. At the end of the game, he got him to a tying field goal from his own 6. He got it out to about the 45, and then the kicker saved the day. He made a bad decision to go to Gibbs in the flat for -5 on that final drive. No Laporta. He's all Gibbs and St. Brown. They got a field goal, and then they won it up when he handed the ball off. That's it for the O, Tyler.
Talked about it with Jim Monis over at Real Football. There's a million ways that we can try to describe what Jahmyr Gibbs is really doing when he shifts it to a gear that nobody else can shift to. I mean, there's a handful of players in football where we could spend an hour talking about this position and that position and this weakness and that weakness, and then none of it really matters because an individual player can just take over the game. And it's usually going to be the quarterback. You know, Josh Allen can still do it. That's why we're both fairly bullish on the Bills still, given all of their issues and injuries. And I mean, Patrick Mahomes, they were down 20-7 in the fourth quarter against Indianapolis. And he went full vintage Mahomes, the plays that he was making on third downs and even some fourth downs. Jahmyr Gibbs may be one of 2 or 3 backs who can just take over a game. And yeah, the Lions, they've got holes, they've got problems, they've got their own injuries, but how do you stop this guy? You can't necessarily sell out to stop him. And also, if you do, he breaks 1 tackle, it's a touchdown. You know, we always think, you're loading up the box is a good way to stop the run. I mean, he's got that Barry Sanders to him where he makes one player miss and an 8-yard gain's an 80-yard gain. So love him. And I gotta get out there to Detroit to learn more about Gibbs. I think we've got to explore because there's the way that Jim put it, I thought it was perfect because he was a scout with the Saints when they drafted Reggie Bush and was around for his career, which was better than what people probably remember. But basically, Jahmyr Gibbs is everything that we thought Reggie Bush was going to be out of USC, and the reaction to the Gibbs pick was the opposite. People are sneering and booing and looking down upon it. Right? Oh, idiots. How dare you take a running back that high? Well, that's why you saved your ass against the New York Giants.
Yeah, Green Bay's safeties, they can't run. They're not going to chase him down or even – they better stay deep, man. Whew, okay. All right, the Lion defense. Wan'Dale Robinson, 100-plus yards in the first quarter. He catches 9 for 156. Famous Jameis Winston, 399, 3 touchdowns. How many yards they have? 524 against this defense, 517. Had the ball 37-11, 8 for 16 on third down. I mean, that's all brutal. And they played a ton of snaps. Detroit, 82 snaps they played. Whew. Okay. What do we got? Let's look at the front. So they played Reeder 46 and Williams 45. McNeil played 69 snaps. Let's start with McNeil. So in their 3-man front, he's playing defensive end now. They're starting him ahead of Lacey. That's the place where Pascal could be back in a couple weeks. So McNeil, the first half of the first game back from the ACL, he was on fire. He was blowing everything up. Remember we talked about that? But now he's getting single teamed. He has spin, but he's really not doing much. He missed a tackle, gain of an extra 5 up the gut. He got stuck on blocks. He was offsides in overtime in the neutral zone. But 4th down, the Giants' last gasp, he cranked it up and he bull rushed our buddy Greg Van Roten right back into Winston's lap, and that's when Hutchinson got the sack. So game-saving, game-winning play, he made it. Reeder and Williams, they're really tough to run against. Green Bay will have a problem running Wilson up the gut or Jacobs up the gut against those 2 players. They hunker down. That's going to be a massive battle with Ryan if Belton starts and Banks. Those are all big bodies converging. It's going to be a great thing to watch. That A-gap run game mayhem in there. Lopez, now he's only 6'1", but this guy makes more plays than Reeder or Williams. He played 30 snaps. Reeder 46, Williams 45. Look at Lopez in 30 snaps. He got to run stuff on 3rd and 1. He stuffed another run, gain of 1. He batted a ball on 3rd and 9. He stuffed Van Roten, gain of 1. And he beat a cutoff block by Van Roten, -1 on the first play of the 4th quarter. He made 5 plays. A couple of weeks ago, he made 3 plays in 18 or 19 snaps. This has been a great addition to them from Arizona. All right, the pass rushers. Hutchinson played 94%, 77 of 82. How can he possibly be at 100% 3 days later? All right, he didn't do much, and he took some crap from Illuminor, the right tackle for the Giants, who said he didn't do a damn thing until that last play. Now, I write these down in chronological order, and in the middle of the game, I wrote down, he's just a non-factor against Illuminor. He was. Now let's start from the top. He's offsides on 3rd and 7. The next play, Giants got a touchdown. He got chipped or bumped almost every rush. Almost every rush. I mean, it's definitely as much tension as Parsons is getting in Green Bay. He doesn't have Gary on the other side of him. He got a knockdown against Illuminor. He got a knockdown against Van Roten. He got a knockdown against Van Roten. He blew up a 3rd and goal run at the 2. He got off fast against Andrew Thomas, -3. And then the sack was set up to clinch the game. It was set up by McNeil, and then he came off Illuminor. Winston would have made it on 4th and 5. He would have been able to run had he escaped Hutchinson, whose nonstop hustle made the sack in 4.0. It was a massive play for him. But really, that's the one massive play he made in the game. Muhammad, right now, he's not winning, Tyler. 31 snaps.
Oh, no. Oh, Quadine.
He had 2 pressures. He blew a sack one time. Not happening. And Davenport still has not returned. They really need him. So their pass rush without pressure and without McNeil, if he doesn't start picking it up, it's not great. All right, the linebackers, Barnes, Anzalone, and Campbell, they're all really good players. And Rodriguez, he played 4 snaps from scrimmage off the ACL first game back. Oh, Anzalone, there was nothing new there. Now let's go to the secondary. Okay, Reed started. He played 31 snaps in his first game back, and I don't know why. I mean, he had some problems early. He missed a tackle on a Singletary run. Anyway, Rock Ya-Sin, who played really good in press man the week before, he replaced him and ended up playing 70 snaps, and Ya-Sin played really good. Now, he got beat on a pass interference call, 24-yard penalty, but he had an end zone breakup against that tight end, Theo Johnson, who was really good. 3 minutes left, 4th and goal. It was a hell of a play. So Ya-Sin could be out there. I don't know on Reed's availability. Robertson, he was up and down now in this game. He was involved in the flea flicker, a crosser. He got injured. He came back. He had a great breakup at the end. I mean, he does good things, and he gave up some things in this game. Now the safeties, Kirby Joseph, he's missed another game. He's missed about 5 in a row. So you got Branch. He had an unnecessary roughness penalty hitting Robinson after the catch, helmet to helmet. I mean, I'm sure he's getting a big fine on that one. He makes plays. He gives up plays. First play of overtime, he had a hell of a breakup to the tight end, Bellinger. He bit one time on a ball thrown behind him for 39. At times, I struggle with Branch a little bit. I love his aggressiveness, but then sometimes he looks like he's in quicksand every now and then. Like he just doesn't react fast. It's hard for me to describe it. I've watched him so much, but he anchors in space sometimes when I think he should be moving. It's just kind of weird. Harper played 81 snaps, and this young kid's done a good job for Joseph. Yeah, he was involved on that flea flicker 42-yard touchdown to Wandale. He got beat by Robinson 26 in zone, but he had a big breakup on Robinson, and he had a great pick. He stretched out with his fingertips on a boot pass and picked it off. That's it there. Mollett, the nickelback, they can't afford really to play him much longer. Bates, I mean, he saved the game. He hit from 59, just like Riker did. This was indoors. He just snuck it in that right corner. Mike Kafka did not go for the field goal. Lions drove down 59-yard field goal. His kickoffs only 2 good out of 6. Fox had a hell of a day punting. 5 punts, 40 gross, 40 net, 4 inside the 20, average hang 4.31. Little Khalif Raymond had a 44-yard kick returner, and he is a hell of a punt returner. And that's it for the Lions, Tyler.
All right. I need one of our most loyal listeners to go back and pick up every time that you brought up Khalif Raymond and see the percentage on how many times you referred to him as little Khalif Raymond.
Every time.
He is little. It is true. Love
every week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is the first time I've really noticed a little concern in Bob McGinn's voice discussing Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions. You're some big picture concerns potentially this late in the season.
Yeah, this year, not big picture beyond, I mean, I think he's obviously the guy He's one of the premier coaches in the league. And he finds
I mean, you
a
were
way.
worried about the defense last year. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
with all the injuries. And they've had a bunch this year. Not quite as many, but they've had more than almost any team in the league. Yeah, the offensive line. I mean, they let Zeitler go and they lost Ragnow, and they've never really gotten back. They're not as good as they were the last 4 years, in the line. They have Gibbs, who can make any lineman look good. But their weapons now without Laporta, Green Bay's got more depth at tight end. I mean, Brock Wright is just a blocker. He can't do it receiving. And that's credit to the Packers for having better depth at tight end. They both lost a stud, and Green Bay's emerged the better of the two teams.
Are you telling me you want 7,000 words on John Fitzpatrick?
That'll be the Thursday column.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. Might have to make that happen.
Yeah.
Could be something there. All right. Excellent breakdown. Shall we get to the McGinn memory, which will involve a little Thanksgiving Day turkey?
All right. So this will be the Packers and the Lions. The Packers have played over there 22 times. They're 9-12-1. They lost the first 5 when the Lions were really good and the Packers were terrible, from 51-55. And then after a tie in 63, there was a 21-year hiatus because Lombardi didn't want any more to do with that game. And they gave him a break for 21 years. And now, since it resumed in 84, the Pack's 6-3. All right, that's enough of that. So the most famous game certainly is 1962, Tyler. You know of this one, right?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't around. I wasn't born for another 25 years, but yes.
It's the most famous. Is it the most famous game in Lion history? It's right up there. The team did not win the division. Green Bay won the division, but it's right in there.
Green Bay's only lost that season, correct?
13-1, right. And then they won the title. Detroit 26, Green Bay 14 at Tiger Stadium, Old Brig Stadium. So I'm 10 years old, and I looked at the weather forecast up there in Escanaba that day, Escanaba, Michigan, on the top of Lake Michigan. It was 28 degrees at noon. I checked my archive. So, Tyler, I'm a subscriber to newspapers.com, and they have a hell of a lot of newspapers, weeklies, foreign papers, all kinds of papers. And I wanted to see how this game was covered by sports writers. How many years ago? 63 years ago? So let's look at it, okay? First of all, we're going to start with an unbiased account written by the great Cooper Rollo, the Chicago Tribune. I knew Cooper. He was really nice to me when I was a young guy on the beat. And he drove over. I assume he drove from Chicago over to Tiger Stadium. And here's his lead. The headline, Aroused Lions Pound Packers, 26-14. It's the lead story in the Trib that day. Underline, defensive line hits peak with violent brilliance. A shockingly efficient clan of Detroit Lions, soaring to an incredibly emotional peak, incredible emotional peak. Today wrought a violent end to the 18-game winning streak of the Green Bay Packers before a delirious capacity throng, blah, blah, blah. Humble the proud Packers. Awesome defensive performer, one of the most awesome defensive performances in league history, football history. A terrifying assault on Bart Starr. One of the most terrifying, he was the victim of the most terrifying assault since the days of Quantrill's Raiders. Quantrill, do you know what that is? Mm-mm. That's a Civil War guy who went on a crazy cavalry raid in Missouri in like 65 or 64. I don't know the particulars, but I remember this Quantrill, Quantri. So Coop's digging deep on that one, man.
He is. I like it.
11 times during the game, Starr found himself in a horizontal position after fading to pass. All right, now let's go to the participating teams, all right? First, we're going to go to the Detroit Free Press. Headline. A1. They got a picture on A1. Lions crush Packers 26-14. Here's Bart getting encircled.
Wow, there it is.
That's on A1.
4 Lion players just devouring Bart Starr for those listening, not watching.
Front 4 of Sammy Williams, Darius McCord, 305-pound Roger Brown, and the Hall of Famer Alex Karras. So I was watching this up there at age 10 with my mom. On the sports page, George Puskis, the beat writer, Lions give Packers the bird, 26-14. 20 minutes free, crushes NFL's greatest. Puskis' lead. Remember, it is the 20 minutes which rocked the football world. 20 minutes which frowned on gridiron history. 20 minutes in which the Detroit Lions thrust themselves among the great teams of gridiron lore. On this chilly, windy Thanksgiving Day, as tough and as brutal a team as ever strode on a gridiron, smashed, wrecked, and left in ruin the pride of a team which had come to be known as the greatest of all time. The Packers are human after all. A roaring crowd, sheer force and emotion. Not many games compare with this one. Then we got a column by Lyle Smith. Then we got a sidebar by Bob Pilley, who later became sports editor of the Chicago Sun-Times. And Bob handled the quotes, and Bob Lombardi did some. Lombardi said, "We'll be a better football team after this one. There was pressure in being undefeated. Now it's off. And we're still in first place. That's the object, not to win them all." So Vinny was trying to be objective here. Alex Karras snapped, "We kicked the hell out of them." Roger Brown said, Joe Schmidt, the middle backer, said, "We'll play them anytime. We should be on top, not those guys." Okay, now let's go to the Grand Rapids Press. They sent Bill Cornwell over there. And Bill wrote the gamer, and the headline, "Lions Explode Green Bay Myth." Brisk, breezy Thanksgiving Day, spearheaded by a savage defensive unit. The victory ruined Green Bay's bid for a perfect season. Audience of 57,508 cash customers. All right. Flint sent John Hendrickson down there, the Flint Journal. The headline, "Lion Defense Grounds a Star." STAR, parentheses, R, close parentheses. National television audience witnessed what determination in the pro football ranks can mean. "I can't understand it," moaned Vince Lombardi. "How could we not be ready for the Lions? There's no answer, but we weren't. Detroit played great defensive ball, but this didn't look like the same team I coached to 12 straight wins and last year's title." Vinny bringing back the history. George Wilson, in his 6th year as the Lions head man, said, "I've never seen a pro team so high. You could have heard a pin drop in the locker room before the game." And Roger Brown, the DT, said of Jim Taylor, who had 45 yards, "That's the hardest runner I've ever seen in my life." Now, there's no Milwaukee Journal and no Milwaukee Sentinel at newspapers.com. We got to get on them. They should be in there.
Why?
They want their archives.
Shenanigans.
They want their archives to be monetary for them, I think, Okay, the Press Gazette's in there. So we got Art Daly, the beat writer, and the sideline man, Lee Remmel. So the PG, my home for 15 years, sent Art Daly. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame. Art Daly was the AP Wire editor when I joined the paper in December of 75. He's a great guy. Now, those 11 or 10 sacks, that didn't get in there till the 8th paragraph. Art took these losses very, very hard.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. The headline, "Lions crack Pack's 18-game win streak, 26-14. Dateline Detroit by Art Daly. Graph, the inevitable has happened, period graph. The Packers lost, period graph. Detroit did it. The score was 26-14. 30 million people on national TV saw it. The monkey, fourth graph, the monkey is off the Packers' back now. Looking for positives. Good old Art. What a man. They are still in control of the Western Division title chase with a 1-game lead on Detroit. Now in the eighth graph, Art gets to the nitty-gritty. The Lions seem to be in a frenzy, and they virtually ate up the entire Packer offense. That hurt Art to write that. That really hurt him. He started covering the team in 41,
1841.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy. He was a wonderful man.
Wow.
He started the Packer yearbook. He's a wonderful man. I loved Art. Now, he called them the Bays. He loved to call the Packers the Bays. The Bays attack was driven back almost as many yards as it advanced, and Bart Starr didn't have a chance. Okay, now let's go to Lee Remmel's sidebar. The headline, quote, "Will be a lot better ball club for it," Lombardi says. Okay, we're trying to be a bit positive. Now did you knew Lee?
Oh,
Tyler?
yeah. I met him a couple times.
All right. Lee is a wordsmith, and I'm just going to say, now this is on some kind of, their PM paper, so there's no deadline here. Dateline Detroit, a resilient Vince Lombardi, comma, who might well have been in mourning, comma, struck an optimistic note in the wake of the Packers' Thanksgiving Day disaster. Ooh, Leland. Graph 2. Although hardly disposed to minimize the marauding Detroit Lions' 26-14 achievement, comma, a resounding triumph which cracked an 18-game Packer winning streak, comma, Lombardi declared, "From now on, we'll be a lot better ball club for it." I think we're all a little relieved. Did he mean by this that his athletes had been under pressure? Quote, "I can't answer that as far as the game is concerned, but the player," okay, then Lee writes, "George Wilson must have given them the needle." The needle. Can you imagine saying that nowadays? The Packers' resident genius added with as hearty a chuckle as he could manage under the circumstances. And then, did he think the Packers had been flat? Lee prefaces these comments with the little question. "No, I didn't," the square-shouldered Fordham alumnus declared. The square-shouldered Fordham alumnus. Okay, then, seriously, the Lions played a superb football game, said Lombardi. "I have no alibis." And then finally, I'm going to wrap it up right here. His offense had functioned with far greater success against the Packers in this one than it had in Green Bay, it was suggested. This is of Wilson. Now, the first game that year was in early October, and the great book, Run the Daylight, was the week of that entire game, right, Tyler? And Milt Plum threw that pick late in the game. Adderley picked it off. And I think then Green Bay got the winning field goal and won it 9-7. And W.C. Hintz had hung around Green Bay that entire week, and the whole book was based on that 1 week. Now, Plum was almost garroted by these defensive teammates, and Wilson had a big. So Wilson's comment about that defeat in October, "I think it was the field," George said. "The field in Green Bay was wet, and we couldn't do some of the things we wanted to do. Today it was dry." And finally, the Packers, the PG always had a picture page.
There it is.
Page. I think we might have had one of those and they had little words interspaced, and the Press Gazette wrote, "It was that kind of a day." And they entitled the page "Cold Cuts." Cold Cuts. And I think when they won, it was like hot hors d'oeuvres or something like that. I don't know. And the final thing I'm going to say, the AP writer at the time, I looked at my hometown paper, the Escanaba Daily Press, that next day, and they ran the AP account. Green Bay victory string smashed by Lions. And the writer was Jerry Green. Jerry, he died about 2 years ago. I had lunch with him shortly before he passed away in Detroit. He taught me so much about writing as a kid, reading his writing. And he was a great man. Detroit News, loved the news. He was a great sports writer. He covered the first, 59 Super Bowls or 60, more than any other journalist. And his lead was, Coach, now he's trying to really feature us. Coach George Wilson was perhaps clutching at straws and was entitled to it today after the tremendous victory. This could wake up the Rams or 49ers, so they'll help us win a victory. So that game, I'll never forget it. I was 10, but it is the most famous game, and I think in Lions history. The day they sacked Bart and for 1 week damaged the Packer myth, but the Packers won 5 titles in 7 years, right, Tyler?
So Bart Starr was sacked for 93 yards, and the Packers gained only 122 yards of offense. That's crazy when you think about it. Bart Starr, Jim Taylor, who else would have been on that crew? Max McGee.
Horning was injured, did not play.
Yeah, Ron Kramer, Boyd Dowler.
Jerry Kramer, Fuzzy Thurston, Forrest.
Oh, yeah, the offensive line. It was – the score was even – it made it seem a little closer than what it was. They got up 26-0 into the fourth quarter.
And you remember the pass blocking back then, Tyler? Chicken wings, man. Yeah.
Just like that, yeah.
You couldn't grab it all.
What a massacre. That's incredible. I'm just looking at the box score right now. I should have had the highlights rolling as you were breaking it down. Everybody can find all these games in some form or fashion on YouTube. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it is wild when you look back at the 60s. I think in our head, it's just this Green Bay power sweep, knife through butter every game, every season. But there's like this game lives in Lions lore. In between, the Bears won the championship and the Browns won a championship. I just looked it up. They beat Johnny Unitas post Otto Graham. Even, I don't know. Like the teams and the games that kind of do get forgotten in history. Maybe this one's not forgotten for Lions fans and Packer fans, obviously, but the general NFL fan doesn't remember that blip in time,
And Tyler, I think you're probably like this. As a kid, I can remember these games in the 60s far more vividly than any games I covered in the 2000s. Or 90s,
that's
right
for me with the
Same
90s for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Totally. That's such a great point. Yeah, it's just something like they call it a core memory as a kid, right? You can remember where you were, how you watched the game.
Yeah,
that's so cool. You're right though. I'm trying to think Packers Lions in the 90s Thanksgiving Day. Green Bay played Dallas on Thanksgiving in the early 90s. Jason Garrett lighting it up. But it would have been maybe the early 2000s. I remember Mike McMahon for the Lions staging a comeback against Green Bay. Terrible Lions. They made it close. Maybe it was 29-27. Green Bay and those throwbacks that had no character at all, right? That one comes to mind. There was a game they lost. I remember Favre just chucking a Hail Mary at the end, losing at Detroit a couple years after that, maybe. And then more modern history. Sue stomping all over Evan Dietrich Smith. And then the 2013, that was a Thanksgiving Day game, I want to say, where Matt Flynn and the Packers just were absolutely blown out the door.
Were they?
Was that Thanksgiving 40-10? I can just remember walking out with you and Spoon.
2013,
probably look that up.
They lost at 40-10.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So that was, Rodgers is hurt. Green Bay falls to 5-6-1. It was an embarrassing game. They were just humiliated, but I'll never forget. We're walking back to our car downtown Detroit. Maybe be careful if you're doing that. And you and Tom both said, "Oh no, Green Bay's not done. Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. The Lions are going to be the Lions," and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Flynn was able to I think they tied Atlanta before that, but he got him that crazy comeback win at Dallas. And lo and behold, there's Aaron Rodgers at Chicago. They were just replaying it on NFL Network, that game.
Really?
Yeah, at Soldier Field, where they win, they get into the playoffs. What a crazy game that was! I was just kind of entranced thinking back. Like, again, when you cover these games, you actually forget so much when you're writing about it. But yeah, Jay Cutler played really well that game. Actually, he was awesome. That drive before, he chucked a bomb to Alshon Jeffrey. He probably should have had it. I think Shields might have got his hand on it. Could have ended the game. And then Green Bay converted 3 fourth downs that final drive. John Kuhn with the play of the day. I mean, for him to slide over, chip Julius Peppers. I mean, the Bears just sent the house. He chipped him, allowed Rodgers to get outside, and found Randall Cobb deep. But yes, your foresight, you knew the season was not over because it is a long season. So I don't know what people took from it. I don't know who's going to win this game. I think it'll be a great game. All 3 Thanksgiving Day games should be great. Mm-hmm. Dallas, Kansas City. Dallas's offense is flying. Patrick Mahomes came alive. They've got everything ahead of them. Even Joe Burrow against the Ravens in the nightcap. Of course, we'll all be asleep by then. That tryptophan will kick in and we'll be tired as hell from eating so much.
So who did the Bengals play?
Ravens.
And Burrow's playing.
Yes. Burrow had an epic quote today. He said something like his Thanksgiving Day memories are like Stafford throwing for a bunch of yards, Calvin Johnson, catching a bunch of touchdowns, and the Lions losing. It's kind of what it was for a while.
Tyler, I care about one game, okay?
Ohio State's going to get it done.
Let's get back to the real issue here. Let's get back to the greatest rivalry in sport, regardless of anything.
Would you?
Hating, Tyler.
Okay.
And it's possible now that they could play in years in the future. They could play a week later in the Big Ten title game. They could play in the CFP playoffs. I mean, I just love this last Saturday in November. I love this time of year. It's supposed to be snow now, Saturday, high of 30. It's awesome. Just hate and bitterness and enmity, just anger.
We need we need more hate in football. I like it.
Built up, man, every day, all year long.
Bring on the hate.
There, they can't stand us, It's the most. Right. My mom taught me this. 1930 grad of Michigan. She taught me, boy. Taught me right.
And my Syracuse Orange are losing 70-7 to Notre Dame.
How about that?
Hey, just ran out of time. Of time.
That's right.
That's it. You sliced the deficit to 70-7.
All right. Happy
that's going to do it
for everyone.
Yes. Have a great Thanksgiving, Bob. Everybody out there listening, watching, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving Day.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.